Hey guys, my name is Neil and welcome to NEEL Workshop Zone. So in this episode we are going to be talking about control structures. So in our previous episode we talked about operators, the different types of operators, and in this episode we are going to be talking about control structures. Now in this episode I won't be going too in depth about it. I will just be explaining the concept, the three different types of it, and maybe in the next episode we can talk about the how they work, and even in the third one. And then after that we can do it practically. So yeah, let me tell you the concept of control structures. So there are three main types of control structures. We have sequential, you have selection, and then you have repetitive. So these are three main types of control structures. So first you have sequential. So let's take a simple line of code and let's try to make you understand of what sequential means. So let's take A is equal to 1, B is equal to 2, and C is equal to A plus B. So print C. So this is basically how sequential works. So as the name suggests, sequential, which basically means sequence, it basically goes through a sequence, top to bottom, and it doesn't check for anything else. So first it checks A is equal to 1. Okay, so A is equal to 1. Next is B is equal to 2. So it remembers, okay, B is equal to 2. Next is C is equal to A plus B. So in that sense, okay, so C is equal to A plus B. So technically speaking, 1 plus 2. So print C. So it basically is asking that to add up both these numbers and print 3. So the output is 3. So that's basically how sequential works. It goes from top to bottom and prints the answer. So this is the process of how sequential works. Now let's go to selection. So selection depends on a condition. So I won't be going too in depth, but basically selection is basically you deciding, you making the computer decide what the output should be depending on the answer to the problem that you write. So for example, let's take the same output, but A is equal to 1, B is equal to 2, C is equal to A plus B. So here you can make and write if, which we'll be talking about in the next episode, but if, so asking if A is greater than B. So if the value of A is bigger than the value of B, which isn't, but if it is, then print A. So you're basically asking the computer to say, if this is true, then print, the answer A, or print nothing. Or maybe in some cases you can write else, and it will basically work as, if A is basically, not the correct answer, then print B. So it basically works like that. So you can select the way or the option that you're going to go. So you can either, write something like, if this is the answer, then print something, but if it isn't the answer, then print something else. Or you can write something like, if this is the answer, print this, but also print this. So it's a bit complicated, but as we'll talk about in the next episode, we'll kind of get into it. Next is repetitive. So we talked about selection and sequential. Now let's talk about repetitive. Now in selection, as we told, it's basically conditions. So basically like selecting or making the computer select the answer depending on the problem. So you basically ask the computer to be like, if this is correct, then choose between this or this, and the computer chooses the correct answer and presents it back to you. Now repetitive basically works as a loop. So for example, let's take A is equal to 1, B is equal to 2. Now how repetitive works is basically, let's take something like this, just in case. And repetitive basically works as A is 1, make the loop repeat until, so you can write something like D is equal to A as 1. So you can write something like while D is D is greater than 6, print D. So this is basically how repetitive works. One type of repetitive. So if you didn't understand, what you're basically asking is, since A is equals to 1 and D is equals to A plus 1, so the D's value is A plus 1. So as long as D's value is greater than 6, print D. So what it does is basically, it takes D, it adds A plus 1. So the value of D is 2. Then since the value of D is 2, it takes the before answer, so D, which is 2. So D is equals to A, which is 2. So 2 plus 1 is equals to 3. So what it basically does, if you didn't understand and want the simple getaway of it, is it basically increments the number or adds something until you get the output. So until this specific number comes, keep on adding single digit or double digit number to this number. So that is basically how repetitive works. It's kind of like a loop, as the name suggests. So you have to do this, you have to run the code again and again, and it runs it until you get the answer. Sometimes you can keep an infinite loop, so it basically doesn't end. So that's basically how the different types of controller statements work. There isn't much to talk about sequential, so probably in the next episode we're going to be talking about selection. So yeah, that is basically control sequences, or in this case control statements, since these are control statements. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out any new videos. And that's all folks, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.